Ladies and gentlemen, is there a rent revolution coming in America? Many people think it is coming because there has been no end to the high rent in this country, and people are getting angry, especially the people at once in their life could afford their rent, didn't have any problem paying the rent. And as inflation continues to go up, those same people that were good tenants, never late, never had any problems, are now having a lot of financial problems. So things have changed a lot over the last 2 years for many people. And affordable housing is and continues to be a huge problem in America. So, with rising rent and interest rates going up on mortgages, a lot of people feel that they're between a rock and a hard place. And they feel really helpless at this point. So, there are a lot of very unhappy people in America. So, the housing costs are just flaring into pockets of resistance and rage in the US. Take 2+ years of the pandemic fuel eviction anxiety, which is still going on. Those evictions are still going on. Spiking home prices add a growing inflation problem that is being increasingly driven by rising rents, and throw in long-term affordable housing shortage that cities seem powerless to resolve. Added up to 44 million US households who rent a home or apartment have many reasons to be unhappy. Yeah, I certainly can understand. That unhappiness extends across the country. The economic spectrum at one end are renters who aspire to buy a home but have had their dreams dashed by how, the housing prices are just so high now. Or you have the low income tenants who make up a bulk of 11 million households who spend more than half of their income on rent. And in between is a hollowed out middle class that is steadily losing ground, although not enough to qualify for much sympathy or help. So, the confluence of all of these forces has fueled a swell of tenants' rights activism that has brought organizing muscle and policies like rent control to cities far beyond the high cost coast. So, Kansas City, Missouri, and this is a protest over the rent that you see in the picture that you're looking at, is a leading example with a population of 500,000 where avenues are lined with brick buildings and side streets have modest homes with raised porches. The city offers little to suggest renters' revolution. Zillow Home Value Index put the typical Kansas City home at $230,000 or more, but it's still $10,000 below the national average. But I feel for people out here. What a terrible situation many folks are in, and it didn't take a long period of time for people to get here. Just 2 years of being in a pandemic have uprooted a lot of people's lives. But with a steady expanding economy driven by the logistics and medical industry, Kansas City has seen its rent increase 8.5% from a year ago, outpacing the rest of the nation, according to the rental search site Apartment List. Over the past decade, Kansas City, like many places, had added a collection of high end towers and apartments, even as its stock of low income housing has withered. Yeah, I bet it did. The strain from the rising rent, which landlords said they need to cover the costs, is creeping from people working low income service professions to middle income teachers and city workers, part of a festering affordable housing crunch that spread more widely across the nation each month. Yes. I mean, these stories have been out here on a regular basis now, I would say like for the last 2 years. Okay, Kansas City tenants is one result. Pairing aggressive protests with traditional lobbying, the group exploded into a political scene during the pandemic and has since become instrumental in passing tenant friendly laws like the ordinance that give renters a lawyer during eviction proceedings. It has also left a trail of embittered opponents who find the group's tactics, such as protesting outside of judges' homes, ill suited to what many residents describe as cordial Midwestern town. Well, people livelihoods are online. I don't think they're worried about being cordial. Okay, so it's a transition into politics, and you know what, I have seen that out in the media, at least online, about how people want rent control, like there's a cap on how high your landlord can go with the rent. And right now that doesn't exist. That's why you can see these tiny apartments out here going for $3,700 all the way to $5,000. And the apartments are like little studios. I mean, that is crazy to see that. But they can get away with doing that because there is no kind of cap on how much they charge for rent. And a lot of people are saying they want that in place. The only ones that can put that in place are your politicians, and they have not acted at all to help the people like they should. They put out that rental assistance program, and they did a very poor job in telling the public. They did a poor job in telling people how to get through the application process. And they would throw applications away if they weren't done right instead of giving a person an opportunity to correct. You should at least let a person correct whatever is wrong on that application. I just think that's so wrong. But this is what they have done in this country. And yeah, I can understand why people are outraged. There are a lot of people that are saying if their rent goes up too much higher, they're probably going to be evicted, because they just can't afford it. And, this government right now, their focus is on helping Ukraine. It's not helping the people that are going through a problem in the housing market or having issues with so much of their rent going up and all the inflation out here. And they still haven't done a thing to alleviate a lot of the inflation. I mean, I looked at the food prices out here. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. Okay, the gas prices went down a teeny bit, but as soon as those holidays roll around, all of that's going back up. This place, that's what they do. They try to milk you dry. So, y'all, I mean, what do you think? I do think you're going to see more people out in the streets protesting over the housing. I really do, as time goes on. But, y'all, please tell me what you think. Do you think this is a good idea that in Kansas City, Missouri, they're politicizing the high housing costs? They're actually becoming a political group over it. But if you are renting and whether everything is great for you or not, let me know in the comment section. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.